hurricanes, heat waves, solar flares, lightning. There are so many things that can take down the power grid, plunging you and your family into total darkness. What can you do to ensure that you're prepared when the lights go out? Portable power stations are growing in popularity as more people search for affordable ways to generate power when they need it. The Eenour F2000 is a powerhouse at an affordable price, which is why we're so excited to test it out and give you our honest opinion. Let's do it.
Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing a portable power station, which brings up a couple questions. Why am I reviewing a portable power station? And two, why are they getting so much publicity these days? Natural disasters seem to be on the rise, and with that we're seeing power outages. So what a portable power device will do is set up so that you can run air conditioning, all your primary devices like your heater if you're in a cold area, your air conditioner if you're in a warm area, your refrigerator, freezer, different things like that. That's what they're meant to do. So that's the reason that today we're testing the Eenour F2000 portable power station. So you can see in here it has DC outlets, USB outlets, and AC outlets. And then you can see the display on here shows how many hours is remaining. Obviously it depends on how much you're pulling out of the system. Right now we're not taking anything out. It's 100% charged, so I've charged it up completely. And today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about all of these different outlets and how you can use them and how long this device will last. So that brings us to the second reason why we're reviewing this portable power station. We split our time 50% here in Louisiana and 50% on board our sailboat Maverick in the Caribbean. What we've learned living on board our sailboat and living independently with power, we wanted to make sure that we could do that here. So for a lot of you, maybe you don't have a sailboat, but maybe you've got a hunting camp or a camp that you go to that is off-grid, and this is a good system that you can set up heat, air conditioning, run all your essentials without having a gas generator. Gas generator is great and they'll provide power, but with a portable battery power station, it's quiet. You can leave it right here in your bedroom. You can put it wherever. You can plug all your devices into your AC. You've got, the ability to charge your phones, all your other portable devices. You've got a couple different ways to charge it as well. So why a portable power station versus buying a gas generator? A couple of the reasons you can kind of see right here is that I'm able to keep it in the house, it's quiet, and it doesn't require gas. I can charge it either with solar or with my AC outlet right here, or I can charge it with the car. So I've got a couple different options that I can do. You can see on top of this actually is an air conditioning unit. It's meant to stack on top of here. And I've got this because we tested this in a previous episode. I'll put that up on the screen so you can kind of look back on it. But what I want to show you is that with this plugged in to the F2000, I can run the air conditioner all the way through the night and still have additional power left over. So I could have the refrigerator plugged in, I could have the air conditioner plugged in, and at least be comfortable through the night. So let's talk a little bit about the specs of the Eenour F2000. First, it's 2,048 watt hours. It says that it'll give us 2,200 watts power up to a maximum of 4,000. for anything like your refrigerator or something that's surging to get surge power. It also has a pretty neat feature in here called E-multiplier. What it enables us to do is that when we turn that on, instead of it being limited to 2200 watts, we can actually pull 3200 watts if we don't have surge power. So for example, if you've just got lights, your computer, different things plugged in, you wouldn't want to put a refrigerator in there or even an air conditioning unit, because when it kicks on, it's going to surge. Although, one of the things that I do want to say is that the PA600 does have a slow start on here, so it doesn't surge, it doesn't kick on to 550 watts or whatever initially. It starts out slower. So let's talk about the different outlets. So we've got DC outlets here. We've got a 12 volt 10 amp. This is a cigarette style lighter, just that's in your car. You've got a 24 volt 10 amp aviation style plug. You've also got two 8mm 12 volt 3 amp plugs as well. To turn on DC, simply push and you can see that DC is running. Now all these plugs here are available to use. So next let's talk about the USB devices here. This is anything that can be charged with a USB device or a Type-C. So we've got the typical USB-A 12 volt device, two of them here. You also have two quick charge 3.0 18 watt USB devices, which will allow you to charge your phone up to 80% in 30 minutes. You also have two C-type chargers here where you can charge your phone, and to turn on your USB devices, just simply turn it on. You've got a indicator that comes up here that shows that your USB device is on. It also has a button and a light down here. Also, we have four 20 amp AC outlets. To turn on our AC outlet, just push and hold. You can see that the AC is now on. You can also push and hold, and I turned off E-multiplier because I had it on. I'm going to show you where that is. So turn it on or push it on for 3 seconds while it's already on, and you can see this lightning bolt up here or whatever it is your actual indication that you have E-multiplier on there. So it now will allow you to use 3200 watts continuous versus the 2200 watts with the surge up to 4000. So you also have one other outlet. Over here you have a 30 amp which you could plug into your RV, or you could plug it directly into your house. With it plugged into your house, you'd be able to run everything that's plugged into your AC actually. Now realize you've got 2048 watt hours, so you're going to be very limited. You're not going to be able to run your central air conditioning. You'll be able to run your lights, you'll be able to run your fans, different things like that, but you'd be very limited. So what I would do is if I were going to hook it up that way, I would turn off most of the breakers and just turn on the ones that I was going to use. But you can certainly use that. It enables you to hook up to your house, but with just this F2000 probably is not realistic to do that. But you can add up to 7 of their X2000 batteries, which is about the same thing, 2000 watt hours. That gets you 16,000 watt hours. If you had something like that, you literally could plug it right in, use a transfer switch, and run your whole house, and then set up your solar system outside. Which brings us to another thing. What comes with this? We've got an XT60 connector with MC4 connectors that hook up to your solar panels outside. This will enable you to charge up to 1000 watts, and I'll get more in detail how you can set up your solar panels with that. What I'm going to do in an upcoming video is I'm going to show you the different types of solar panels that they have out there. They have folding, they have flexible, they have hard glass, and show you the different types and see how we can set up our solar array. The F2000 has the ability to intake 1000 watts up to 120 volts and 15 amps. So there's a couple different ways. I think anybody that's looking at a portable solar generator, one of the things that's probably just a little bit different is how do you set up your solar array, and we'll kind of get into that because it does matter. If you have 2, 3, 4, 5 different solar panels, how do you connect them? Do you connect them in series? Do you connect them in parallel? And it does matter with regards to how much voltage this thing can take and how much amperage this thing can take. So we'll show you what's the maximum on that. It also has a connector that's XT60 that will plug right into the 12 volt here so that you can charge your portable solar generator right from your car. So if you're taking it camping, you can use your alternator to charge up this portable station. So let's talk about a couple different ways that you can charge this device. You can charge it with the AC adapter that it came with, plug it into the wall, which I've actually got plugged in here. There's a switch on here that you can do fast charging, which is 1800 watts, or you can do slow charging, which is 600 watts. With the 1800 watt, you can charge it from 0 to 100% in 78 minutes. Which brings up, why would you use the slow charger? Well, if you're always fast charging your battery, you're going to lose your lifespan of the battery. This is a LiFePO4 battery, and it comes with about 3,500 different cycles, which means that you can draw the battery down to 0, charge it back up to 100%, 3,500 times. So then while it's plugged into the wall or the AC outlet, you can also charge with solar combined with it, and you can charge that in 48 minutes. And then, like I mentioned, if you're set up to your solar panels and plug it in here, if you've got 1,000 watts coming in, it's going to charge in about 2 hours. Also on the Eenour F2000, it has a UPS feature, which is an uninterrupted power supply feature. This is good for somebody that's working at home, working on a computer. Let's just say you're doing a video call. If you lose power, it cuts everything off. If you are plugged into the AC outlet and you're also plugged the F2000 into the wall, when the power goes off, this will switch over and it'll keep your computer on. So that way you won't lose your call, you won't lose where you are with regards to your video conferencing, anything like that. Okay, so we've gone over all the features. Let's do some testing. Let's get into it here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the USB features here. We've got two different features. We've got a C-type, and then we've got a USB type. With these two USB types, I'm going to show you the difference between the USB-A and then the quick charge USB. Okay, so the first part here, what we're going to do is we'll just use the USB. So we've got a USB port that's charging our phone. We've got the USB on. Also, we've got two of these. And then down through there, we've got two USB quick charges if your device is available to run the quick charge. And then down below, we have a C-type charging port. Very simple. So now what we're going to do is plug in a lot of devices and see if we can try and overwhelm this thing. So we've got the air conditioner running, we've got the heater running, we've got the hot plate running. All these things together are drawing about 2,066 watts. So we're trying to overload this thing, and this should do it. It should put it up over, this is about another 200 watts, so it should put it up to about 2,300 watts. So let's see what happens here when we turn this on. Okay, that's 2,200 watts, so that's what it says it can do. 2,300 watts, and it's still holding strong. You can see down here that the voltage is 110. It's not going to trip it out. Oh, there we go. It tripped out. What was that? 2310? So it tripped it out at about 2,300 watts. The good thing about this is anytime that a company says it'll work at 2,200 watts and it actually trips out at 2,300 watts, that's a good thing in my book. So a couple other things that I'm going to show you as well. Right here, we're at 88%. And I have got it plugged into the wall, so it's using the AC to DC charger. And I'm doing slow charge, so it's at 625 watts. So I'm going to swap it over to fast charge, which is right on the back by the AC inlet here. Alright, so right here we have slow charging, and then push it down as quick charging. We also have the solar. This is where you would plug in to charge it with solar or with the 12 volt. This is the XT60. And then also over here you have an overload protection. If it trips here, you just reset it here. But what we're going to do right here, we've got it on slow charging, so now I'm going to switch it to fast charging. And then if we look back over here, so you'll see now that we are charging at 1,500 watts. And it's 10 minutes left, we're at 89%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge it up to 100%. I'm also going to plug in the watt meter here, and I'm going to run the AC all night, and I'm going to try and run it down to 0. So I'll let it run. So that's the fan running. It's turning on. It's pulling in 1500 watts, so it's actually cooling itself down. So I'm going to take this watt meter, plug in the AC. I'm going to let it run all night. I'm going to run it down to 0, and I'm going to see how many watts we can pull out of here, so see how close we can get to 2048 watt hours. And I'm also with that going to try and determine how efficient the inverter is, so I can see how much we pull out, how much was in there, and then we can kind of see what the efficiency is of the inverter. One of the things I will say, I really wish that since this company does both of these, on their battery they have a 48 volt hookup, so you can hook the air conditioner directly to the battery and you can run it directly off DC. I wish that the F2000 had that. I knew that when I got it, and I just didn't want to get the battery itself. I wanted an actual solar generator. So I just wish that over here they would put down the 48 volts so we can run the air conditioner with it. Maybe that's something that they can do in an upcoming new improvement. So that's it for now. I'll run this here, and then we'll see you in the morning and see how much our AC drained it down. All right, good morning. We are back again, and last night we did a battery discharge capacity test. So I'll tell you what we did first is we hooked the AC unit up to this watt meter, which is plugged into the Eenour F2000, and we drew the battery down to 0. So the reason that I was doing that is to see how much we could actually pull out of the battery, because the battery's capacity is 2048 watt hours, and we were actually able to get 1789 watt hours out of there. So I did that for a couple different reasons. What I wanted to do is to find out the efficiency of the inverter to be able to take the AC and turn it into DC. So we take the 1789 watts that it used and divide it by the battery capacity, which is 2048 watts, and we come up with a inverter capacity of 87.23%. which is really good. Anywhere between 85 and 90% is considered excellent. So it did really well. Now, there's two different types of efficiency. It's the inverter having to convert DC power to AC power. That's one part of the efficiency. And the other part of the efficiency is the amount of power that it takes to actually power the inverter itself. So Eenour states that the inverter efficiency is 90%. We came up with 87.23%, so that gives us 2.23% difference. So I'm just going to call that the no load power draw. That means that if the inverter is on and it's just drawing power to power itself up, that's what no load power draw is. But that's not very scientific, but the complete inverter capacity is 87.23%, however you look at it. The next thing that we're going to test now is yesterday we tested and saw that around 2300 watts was when the Eenour cut out, or it states that it can handle up to 2200 watts and about 2300 watts it cut out. So we're going to use the E multiplier, and it says that we can run up to 3200 watts without it cutting out. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to plug in everything that we plugged in yesterday that made it trip out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in a vacuum cleaner that has higher draw and try and get it up to about 3000 or 3200 without it tripping out, just to show you that it will run in a higher mode. Here's where we are yesterday. We've got everything on that we had on yesterday, and with the E multiplier it is running fine. All right, so with all this plugged in, you can see that it's drawing 2200 watts at 100 volts. So this is how I think they're kind of tricking the system maybe a little bit, because I know that this draws 1150 watts when it's fully on, which it is. This draws 650 watts. The vacuum cleaner draws 850 watts, and this draws 350 watts. In all total, that's 3000 watts. So I know it's more than 2200. I know they all draw that, because I have a watt meter that I plugged in and tested them all individually, so I know exactly what they're drawing individually. So you can see the voltage is 99 on here now. See, it's 99, flips between 99 and 98. So I'm not certain as to how they're doing that, and it's showing the output is 2200 watts, but I know the output is 3000 watts. So if you've got things that, and I'm keeping it on, it's not going to trip out. So if you have things that you know is not going to surge, you can use it with the E multiplier and not worry about tripping it out. I think it's a pretty neat feature. So what I want to do now is just kind of wrap up my thoughts on the Eenour F2000, how it would pertain to maybe you if you're looking for a portable power device. We looked at it for a couple different reasons, like we said, to use it on the boat as a backup, to use it in the house just in case we lost power. Maybe you're wanting to use it into the RV as a portable power station. It's got a 30 amp hookup there. You can use it that way. Maybe you have a camp. Maybe you just want to take it camping in a tent, anything like that. It gives a lot of different versatility. You've got pretty much every plug-in that you can imagine here, from the 30 amp to the 20 amp AC to all your devices here for USB, C-type charger for phones, batteries, different things like that. You can charge computers, you can charge 12 volt, you've got 24 volt as well. So you've got a lot of versatility in here. You can charge this thing from your car with this. You can charge it with solar. You can charge it plugging it into the wall. So you've got a lot of different versatility. So the things that I like about it, one, I like that it's expandable. So with the other X2000 batteries, you can add 7 of these in parallel and get up to about 16,000 kilowatts. So you could use this as a backup for your whole house. You could power all your lights. You could power your fans, your TV, anything that you power in your house besides your dryer, oven, hot water heater, anything that runs on 220, you're not going to be able to do it with this. But it'll power everything else. It's not going to run your air conditioner. It'll run an air conditioner like this. So that's really the things that I really like a lot about it. The only downside to me is, and it's specific to me because I bought the Eenour PA600 to be able to run with this, I really wish that they had a 48 volt hookup in here that you could run the air conditioner directly off the battery and not go through the inverter. Kind of what we talked about just a little while ago about the efficiency of the inverter. You're losing about 12.5% of your battery just making the inverter work. So if it just ran right off the battery, you'd get 12.5% more runtime from your air conditioner. Okay, so hopefully that gave you an in-depth look at the Eenour F2000. If you're looking at purchasing one of these, we're going to have a link in the description below where you can click on and take a look at it for yourself. Okay, so that was a wrap-up of the Eenour F2000. If you have any questions or any concerns about the company or this particular product or even the PA600, just leave a comment or a question down below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. As always, thanks for watching and we can't wait to meet you out there.